Let's talk about compounded interest problems. In Excel, we have these functions. The optional argument type is for PMT payment, 0, end of the period, 1 is for the beginning of the period. Besides, for example, for future value, if the question gives rate MPR PMT, and you could directly hit the enter, you don't need to put 0 for PV. Suppose the given arguments are rate MPR then PV. Since PMT in front of PV, then you have to input 0. For the graphing calculator TI-8384, press the key APPS, then choose 1 Finance and choose TVM Solver. Here we ignore PY, CY, focus on the first 5 arguments and the last line, end and beginning matching here the type. Now let's do some examples. You need focus on the keyword right behind the compounded. Here is annually. This is the simplest. So based on the question, we input those arguments. Be careful for the rate. Excel, you need to put 8%, 0.08. But for the TR-84, the I%, because you already have the percent, the symbol, you need to put 8, not 0.08. And the payment, because this payment is out of pocket, we need to put negative 1400. Then 15 years later, you get the money back. But it's not a big deal. If you forget to put negative, then the future value, you will get a negative. Then you will realize, okay, I forget to put the negative here in the payment. So equals FV. The rate is 0.08. MPI is 15. Payment is negative 1400. You don't need to put the PV because PV is not given. So it's 0, but you don't need to put 0 because PV is after those 3 arguments. And the type, because default is means end of the period. So you can directly enter. For the calculator, APPS, choose 1, choose 1. Okay, we input all those given numbers, and the PV, because not given, just put 0. And for the FV, we reset 0, then we cover it. Then alpha, enter. So we get the exactly same answer. Now let's move to next question. The keyword after the compounded is quarterly. So every year has 4 quarters. So 3 times 4, 12 quarters. And the rate, this is annual rate 0.08 divided by 4. For the calculator is no percent, so directly is 8 divided by 4. And the payment is negative 6,000. This money is out of pocket. So equals FV, and the rate is 0.08 divided by 4, and MPI is 12, negative 6,000. Because once again, we already have all the given arguments, and the default is end of the period for the payment. So we could just hit enter. This is the answer. And for the calculator, reset all the numbers for this problem. So then we want to get FV, so cover this 0, alpha, enter. So we get the answer. And also for the Windows Excel, you could click the formulas and choose financial. you want to get the FV, so you choose FV, and the rate is 0.08 divided by 4, MPR is 12, payment is negative 6,000. And you don't need to input this PV. Then you see, because this we open the FV, the function, we already get the exactly same answer. For the third problem, keywords after compounded is quarterly, and ask for the MPR, how many quarters. And so MPR, and the rate is 0.08 divided by 4, PMT negative 1500. Here you have to put the PV. PV is not given, but because the given argument is right after PV, so you have to input 0, then 60,000. Also is end of each quarter, so default is 0, so you don't need to put 0. So enter. You could rounding to 30 quarters. And for the calculator, after inputting all the numbers, we cover this 0, alpha, enter. So you see, rounding to 30 quarters. Number 4, semi-annually, this keyword, 6 times 12, 12 half years. And here, the rate needed divided by 2. The payment is negative 1,000. Watch carefully, this is the beginning of the period. Okay, so equals FV. Rate is 0.02, 12, negative 1,000, and the PV is 0. And type, you need to choose 1 because beginning of the period, enter. And for the calculator, let's input all the new numbers. Okay, here you go down the payment, you choose the beginning and enter. Then you go back to cover this F with this 0, alpha, enter. So we get the answer. Next question. Annually, the keyword after this compounded 6 years, and just copy this rate. So equals PMT, rate is 0.04, MPR 6, PV is 0 not given, so we put 0 because we have to put this FV. So 28,000, and you have to choose 1 because the beginning of each year, enter. Why get the red color? Because that's actually is negative. The payment it's out of pocket. So that means every year, the beginning of every year, you need to pay this money. Okay, for the calculator, let's reset the beginning. Then we go back to this payment, cover the 0, alpha, enter. So that means the beginning of each year, you need to pay 4,058.97 cents. Number 6, keyword is semi-annually. That's why the time needed times 2, rate divided by 2. And the payment is end, so December 31st and June 30th, so end of each period. So equals FV, rate is 0.1 divided by 2, MPI is 4 times 2, payment negative 500, and you don't need to type this not given this PV, and because default is 0 for the end of payment and of period, so you directly hit enter. And for the calculator, okay, also we need to change it back to the end, so choose end, enter, then go back and cover this FV 0, alpha, enter. The next one, the keyword is quarterly. So the years need times 4, the rate divided by 4. Payment must be made at the end, that's a default setting. So PMT rate is 0.073 divided by 4, 19 times 4. And the PV not given, so we put 0, and FV is 15, and 4 zeros. And the default is end of the period, so we just directly enter. So you need to pay $9.27. This is negative, means out of pocket. For the calculator, let's reset. It covers this payment, this 0, alpha, enter. We get negative 9.27. So here is a round to 9.27. Next one, compounded monthly. A year has 12 months. So here we need to divide it by 12 and NPR. The period, the answer you will get is for the month. If you want to change it to the year, you need to divide it by 12. Equals NPR is 0.09 divided by 12. Payment is negative 600. PV is not given. We input 0, 0. FV is 50,000. And the default is end. Here is end of each month. So hit enter. So rounding to 65 months. And for the calculator, cover the N, alpha, enter. For the last question, first ask you the how long, so the NPR. So question mark is here. So now let's calculate NPR. The keyword is quarterly, that's why divided by 4. The rate is 0.06 divided by 4. Then payment is negative 4,000. And the PV is 0 because not given. FV is 1540. Then because it's at the end of each quarter, so directly hit enter. So you get, first answer is 30 quarters. And we could verify by calculator. Okay, cover the 0, alpha, enter. So we got it around the 30 quarters. Why I put these two columns? In the first one, the next 15 years, the continue to deposit 4,000 every 3 months, and plus also the has 150,000 present value in the account. So we need to get both future value added together for this question. First FV is, the rate is 0.06 divided by 4. The second one, NPR, is 15 times 4. So 15 year has totally 60. The payment is negative 4,000. And because the end of each quarter, so directly hit enter. So the next one, put here negative. The FV here rate is 0.06 divided by 4. NPR is 60. Payment is 0. It's enter. You get positive. So we could copy those answer here. So and copy this answer here. For the question B, the answer is this number and this money. So total you would have that much money. And you can use a calculator. Let's try. Let's get this first. This continue to deposit 4,000 for the next 15 years. So alpha, enter. So you get this. We actually get exactly same answer here. And then the next one, your payment here is, we need to change here. It's negative. So is present value negative 15, then 4 zeros, and the payment is 0 and future value, choose 0, then alpha, enter. So you get the second. So your answer for B is this money plus this money. I hope this video helps.